week. We're doing 4 prayer weeks next year. We actually did 4 this year. It's something I introduced. Oh, so this is my home, maybe your base of operation. I don't know what you call it, but for ministry here at the church, and my office is at the front of the building. What's yours like? It's funny, all the buildings I've been in, I don't turn the lights too much on because it's just me, but I do like to see my way forward. There's our everything ready for Christmas. We're raising some food this year for our food pantry. We do a food pantry. So the food pantry has, sorry it's dark, but food pantry just kind of serves our local community, our local this end of town kind of thing, and then as well people within our own congregation. So we don't really put a limit on where they're from, where they live, but there's enough places to get food in the city, and so that's one of the areas that we do ministry. And we're trying to transform this year where we don't just like hand out food, but we've asked okay, fill this form out, and then we get some details. And I got dreams of doing better relationships with them. They all got invites for Christmas Eve and those types of things. The hope with that is we can see them come to Jesus. That's really kind of what we want to see with that. And we'll go from there. Getting ready for the break. Right now we have December. We have this coming Sunday, which actually I'm not preaching because our kids are doing a presentation, and we'll just add some Christmas songs and sing. And then Tuesday will be Christmas Eve, and so we got 2 services for that, and I'm definitely nervous about that. We trying to provide space. I guess one of the good things is, setting my nerves aside for a moment, is people are reaching out. People are inviting. Some not necessarily how I had hoped, but it's a start, and I think that's important. What do I mean by hope? One of the things that I realized is people actually don't know non-believers, right? So some have just literally walked up to strangers, and there's actually nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing. Because it's helping them grow and develop. And one of the reasons I say it's a good thing is I'm thinking of the one story right now, and she actually really wasn't relying on the Spirit to guide her. It wasn't just random. She was praying and believed that God guided her. It was really kind of cool moments of listening to the Spirit and then following through with that. And so, so there's some good stories that way, and I just keep praying. Talked to a lady yesterday who's actually a friend of someone here, and she's going to come. And so that's exciting. Am I nervous? Yeah. Are we going to be able to fill 2 services? And I realized, part of the challenge for me is there's some identity issues going on there where if we don't fill the 2 services, then it's a failure, and I want people, you lose some credibility and dude, that's not I'm not doing this to gain credibility, but that's an internal wrestling that's actually going on, and I had to check myself, and still am having to check myself, because what if it does? Jesus is still king, right? And so that's a in this discipleship process of walking, that's something that I have to wrestle with. I had a couple of things I want to chat to. Yeah, so as I wrap up for this year, really, because I'm going to try and take some time off, so I might pause for just a moment in recording here. But we had, so I've been working on my goals. And I still haven't gotten everything figured out yet, and so it's something maybe I can work on over the next time off and in that first week in January. I think some of it is worked out in the sense that we have some church goals, and I think that's actually got to be those are some of the focuses. So I think some of it's already written. I just need to go with that. And there's a few conversations I need to have. But in the sense on the ministry side, there's some things that are already set, right? I want to see 10 groups. And so we're not there yet, but that's okay. But we laid some groundwork this year. We laid the groundwork of introducing and pushing the idea of smaller communities and discipleship. And hopefully coming in, and there was successes in that, right? We got a few groups going. We've introduced people. One of the introductions we did was our Advent groups. And we said, hey, would you join for 3 weeks? And people like that because I can do 3 weeks. They're not asking for a lifetime commitment. So we did 3 weeks. And then I asked last night, and we did success. Like we had 8 to 10 people coming out, and I think I had 9 last night. And so, it I think went well. There was, at least from some, that said it was helpful. And then I said, in the new year, are you interested in doing this again? And so I think I'll be like, hey, here's what we're gonna. Why don't you come? We're gonna join for I don't know how many weeks. I gotta figure that out. I was kind of wondering, like, yeah, maybe would you do 3 months, and then go from there. But I only want to do every other week because of time restraints, to be honest. So that was a success. And I think we just need to keep building on that as we move in the new year. I worked on our prayer week. We're doing 4 prayer weeks next year. We actually did 4 this year. It's something I introduced. The one piece that I'm going to add on to our prayer, and the prayer still frustrates me. Like we're actually getting involvement. We got to raise the bar as a church. And so I need to, how do we do that? But one of the things we're going to do is set aside the Wednesday of every month, first Wednesday, for prayer. I've been doing that this year, and I'm going to invite the congregation into it. I'm going to have some extra gatherings and some resources. People don't have to come here. They can be wherever they are, and they do work, right? So we got to figure out how to do this in the midst of that. What else? Yeah, I'm helping with another church, being an advisor for their board, and that's always a challenge as I try to get up to speed on the culture and what's going on. And so in the new year, that's something that I'll be taking on. I've started to do some work with them already, helping with some budget stuff. And they have, in their first meeting in the new year, have a budget meeting. And so we'll set their budget and whatnot, and ask for some help from me initially with helping with that for my first advisory roles. But looking forward to it. It's tough, man. Money is tight. And, even, I remember, so they're smaller. And I remember when I was, I served in some smaller settings, and things are always tight and you're always worried. I do think a lot of places probably over, over budget, right? Like here's the bottom line is you got to live in your means, and there are hard decisions you have to face in the reality of that, which we don't want to. And some want to love the pastor and give more. And I'm all for that. But there's a difference between putting it in the budget and actually giving. And so I'm hoping to help them develop a bit of a giving plan and some donor care stuff. All that's new language for them. And and just raise the bar too on stewardship and giving. Like, hey, if we set this, you got to give this. And so I want to be able to help them have that conversation. And so we'll see where that goes. That's something for the new year. And I'm going to set some of it aside for the break, and then I'll help get them going in the new year. But those are things I'm trying to read. Doing a thing next year with Frank Viola. Reading through I read this once already, Insurgents, what's it called? Reclaiming the Gospel of the Kingdom. Reading through that again, trying to get that taken care of as part of that master class that I'm part of, and looking forward to what God might do through that next year for me. And next year will be a full year. I'm recognizing coming into Christmas, one of my challenges is I am tired. And I've had some overwhelming, some burn out moments, and just realizing, okay, I got to hit a pause button here. And so I'm going to try and take some time off. And I did set up some meeting with a counselor to be able to just speak into my own journey and help me process some things or some stuff that I was like, we need to talk about that. And so they're going to help me with that. So that's just some self-care stuff that's important. And I've learned along the journey. And what do you do for some self-care? One of the things I'm hoping to do is go fishing, get out in the ice. The ice is a little slower around here than I hoped forming this year. But I'll be able to find something, get out ice fishing. Those are a few things that are going on in the midst of my discipleship journey. And my hope with this video is to share a bit of my journey. I don't have this all figured out. It's not perfect, but just be able to share a bit of my journey of making disciples. And I think actually recording is actually helping me too. So anyways, I don't know how to wrap up. So, hey, go make some disciples. It's going to be after Christmas before this comes out, but God blessings on you, and may He give you wisdom. Go make disciples.